いくぜ、相棒。
チュンチュン丸。
エル・クルセイダーのダークネスとしてな。
そうか。それなら別に、まあ。
ちょろいな。何かと思えば、それ。
Hey, Babes, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk Konosuba Season 2, Episode 10. The episode that, as it turned out, was the finale. Oh, man. So I went into this episode, just letting you know, I went into the episode and I was just watching it, and then when you have those final sequences with Aqua going in and being all strong with her God Fist, I'm thinking, wow, they really stepped it up, and the music's like really strong there, and like Kazuma's doing stuff, he looks good doing it. Wow, this really seems like this is a finale. Like they're really going all out for this. And then, you know, as the episode goes on, I remember that last year, or like last time Konosuba was on, it had a shortened run. I'm thinking, oh no, it looks like the finale because this is the finale. And so I went and I checked, and before I got to like the thanks for playing screen, and it's like, yeah, this is the finale. So that was pretty disappointing. I am pretty sad. Like, Konosuba was really enjoyable this season. Oh man, it was so good. And so, knowing that it's the finale, you know, kind of soured my mood a little. Actually, it didn't. It just made me like slightly sadder. But that's good because Konosuba is a good series. Did I feel bad that it's over? You know, it's a good series. So I'm going to offer a quick apology just because, you know, I think I should have been on top of that. I should have been aware that it was only 10 episodes long. But anyway, moving on, let's talk about the episode itself, because when you see what's going on, there's a few sequences at the end that you could argue it is a tiny bit rushed. Just a tiny bit. I don't know how the original source handled those last sequences, but given that it is a novel, I can almost guarantee that the last couple of scenes in this episode were not the same. They were not the same in the novel source. But anyway, the episode itself concludes the whole Hot Springs storyline, and as we found out, it revealed that the character that we saw in this arc, the only other relevant character, was actually a big deal. Aqua was right. There was legitimately a guy from the Demon Lord's area messing with the water. Who would have thought? That was really good on Aqua. So, you know, the episode largely became about dealing with that conflict, and the episode also marked a return to grace for Aqua, or at least a slight redemption for Aqua. The moment that it turned out that she was right about that slime, it justified her, and that was the mark of where Aqua is now going to start climbing back up, because when you have that happening, the people show up, they now believe that Aqua is telling the truth, and then you get Aqua going in at the end trying to take out the last little bit of the slime. You finally have everyone cheering her on. They start repeating the creed of the Aqua Church, which is actually really interesting. When you read that creed, it seems like it's a variation of utilitarianism, which makes sense because utilitarianism is one of those philosophical approaches that is used to justify bad things in perspective of the happiness of the original person. So when you consider Aqua, that might be the best philosophical approach for her. Now mind you, the one that they displayed in this particular episode has a slight more positive bend, but it's utilitarianism at its roots because of the way that they're spewing their rhetoric, being that of just be happy for yourself, do whatever because you will still be happy and all that. Overall, I just thought that was a really nice touch, and it's probably the most appropriate philosophy for Aqua's people, or it's a variation of it, so it's the most appropriate root philosophy for Aqua's people. Regardless, the people start believing, and that gives Aqua the power, and she's able to do God Blow, and she's able to just wipe out the thing. People believe in her and all that. Of course, in the process though, we have to get that Konosuba bend in things, where Aqua went too much and she purified all the hot springs into just hot water. And so that made people very angry at her. At the end of the day, it didn't matter whether it was the Demon Lord or it was Aqua. The net result is that she ruined the town's economy and people hate her. So, you know, at the end of the day, when it mattered, she got her redemption. But when it came back to the Konosuba style of things, she got, she got screwed over. Well, she screwed herself over. So, Am I happy with that? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. How could I not be happy? Aqua gets a bit of torture and she also gets her little moment to redeem herself. Great. Now let's talk about the slime and then Wiz in conjunction with it. So I thought that was really neat. Have this one other character, the only other relevant character that was going on, have him involved and then just give him some like little unique mannerisms. I still laugh so much at the scene where he just skipped the soap and tried to dissolve other things. You know, overall, I really enjoyed that he was the villain of this arc, and his banter with Wiz was also pretty good. They spoke about the neutrality, and finally when Kazuma does point out, hey, there was a skeleton in there, did you kill someone? It was the best thing ever. Why? Because we got to see Wiz so serious. And so I really like Wiz's general approach to this, that she understands if you have to take down knights, they get paid to put their lives on the line. She understands you have to take down adventurers, they are your enemy. But innocent people, no, that's where I draw the line. And seeing Wiz go all out and just using her ice magic everywhere was pretty freaking badass. That was great. I really love having Wiz there just for that whole sequence. And so when you have all these parts, you have Aqua involved and you have Wiz and then you have Kazuma going in there and just deciding to be a badass when he realizes that he can still be resurrected and going in. That whole sequence was beautiful. The music, everything, I was really loving it. Kazuma going in to try to take down the slime. Man, I wish his death could have been just done a little bit more dramatic, but it's Konosuba, so it's going to be a little bit funny. It's going to be on the funny end. We get to see his skeleton. But he made a pretty great sacrifice, and having Megumin go in there, everyone had something to do in this fight. And that's the good thing about Konosuba as well. Konosuba usually involves the full party when it comes to fighting the enemies. It's not a case where just the hero is the one who's going to be taking on the last enemy. No. It's everyone has to pull their weight and do this. So Megumin had her moment. She had her eyes glowing. Darkness had her moment, sort of. She was probably the one that got left out the most here. Aqua had her moment, and Wiz definitely had her moment. Kazuma had his moment too, even though it was involving him sacrificing himself. Overall, everyone had good times. Let me think, were there any other little moments that were really nice? Oh yeah, Aqua getting hurt while she was purifying the spring. That was just showing how much Aqua cares about her people. Yeah, you know, those were all like just the really nice standout moments. But now let's talk a little bit about my gripes with the episode, because in the episode we have the badassery of Wiz, we have the badassery of Megumin, we have the badassery of Kazuma, the badassery of Aqua and the people. Overall, all these things are good, but then there's a few parts where it's just it's some of them you can justify it's Konosuba and they've been consistent the whole season. So yeah, one of them is Wiz's boob physics. You know, it's all cool having this really serious moment with Wiz, but seeing her breast jiggle every second while she's making a move, you know, it's kind of distracting. It kind of takes away from the moment. The girl really should invest in some kind of underwear, but I really can't complain too much about it because Konosuba set a precedent for it. For episodes upon episodes, we've been seeing Wiz with that kind of drawing style. So it's like, well, they've been doing it, they're committing to it. It would have just been nice if they broke from the comedy for that specific moment and they just went serious, like how they do with Kazuma, because Kazuma usually breaks from the comedy when he's delivering those really epic scenes. And it would have been nice if Wiz got that treatment as well. But again, Konosuba set a precedent for it, so I really can't be angry. They fulfilled on what they were selling, right? Like, they told us this is how we're dealing with it, so we're gonna keep dealing with it that way. So overall, I'm personally just a bit disappointed in that regard, but it's a really small gripe. Now, the main things here that I'm personally disappointed about, and I think are a flaw for this particular episode, is the ending. The ending sequences, because here's what happens, and here's how we know that this is most likely rushed. We just saw Kazuma sitting as a skeleton in front of Aris, so we didn't get any banter between them. Again, understandable because we were in the last, I think, 8 minutes of the episode. We just got the narration from Kazuma as everyone's leaving the hot spring city. We just know that everyone generally hates them. Okay, we got Wiz, she was out of the count. We didn't get any more interactions from her once her magic ran out. I wonder why Kazuma didn't just do the drain touch and give Wiz some power. We quickly just touched upon Veneer. We just saw him, dropped Wiz off with him, but we never find out what exactly Kazuma was whispered to. What did Veneer tell Kazuma before they embarked on the journey? Then we just get kind of the fast forward through the town back in Axel, just seeing all the people. Megumin having her thing with Yun. It's all just a very rushed sequence of events, right? We go from defeating the slime monster and we completely skip resurrecting Kazuma all the way through to just ending the show at a nice note. And so, you know, that's kind of unfortunate. This is the kind of thing where maybe even one more episode would have been nice, because I would have liked to have a breather episode and just see the character interactions. Because with Konosuba, the fantasy adventure isn't the real draw, it's the characters interacting with each other. That's where the real value of Konosuba comes from. So it was just a bit unfortunate in that regard. It is nice though that this time we got a happy ending though. Oh, actually no, there's one more note to talk about, and that is the resurrection and Kazuma choosing to die. We all know that Kazuma's capable of being self-sacrificing when he knows he can win out in the end. And let's face it, like, he gets his skin dissolved, he dies inside of a slime. Like, Kazuma most likely has endured incredible amounts of pain. Now, the really nice thing here, and this is one of those bookends, is that we started off this arc with Kazuma not wanting to die anymore. He was just chilling at home. He's just going to send adventurers off to deal with the Demon King because he doesn't want to die anymore. He's tired of the dangerous lifestyle. But by the end of the arc, we just see that at the end of the day, he can be pretty self-sacrificing, and he does ultimately end up sacrificing himself by choice. So, in terms of the narrative, that's actually a really nice touch, and it's probably one of the nicest touches with the finale episode, just because it does do a bookend on that particular plot line. So as a viewer, I really appreciate that moment. It was really nicely done, and it just answers and kind of gives Kazuma closure for that particular thought process. How could you not enjoy that, right? Anyway guys, if I was to really say any more gripes besides that, I'd say not enough darkness. That's probably it. Not enough darkness. She did have a little bit of a gag scene when they were stripping her down to try and find the dustiness medallion, but otherwise, you know, it was just not enough darkness for me in this finale episode, but whatever, not a big deal. Overall, Konosuba was very enjoyable this season, and yeah, I'm pretty happy that I got to sit down, watch it, and talk about it to some degree in the later episodes. So guys, let me know what you thought down below, and let's end it there. Thanks for watching. Till next time. I hope you have a great day.